On this episode, we're diving into our Main Street Magic Mailbag for part 26 of our listener Q&A series. Today's January 17th, 2025, and this is episode 738 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Want to get a free Disney e-gift card up to $250? Book a qualifying Walt Disney World or Disneyland room or package through our preferred travel partner, MEI-Travel, and get a Disney e-gift card valued up to $250. This offer is valid for bookings made between January 2nd and February 28th, 2025 for travel check-in dates through August 31st, 2025. Certain restrictions apply. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
Well, happy Festival of the Arts Day.
Yeah, happy farts to those who celebrate. Starts today when this comes out.
I still don't like saying that. It's just weird to me.
It's easy. Like,
it is.
It's easy.
But it's weird.
Yeah, I don't usually say it. Like, I usually type it just because it's easy.
Yeah, I almost said it the other day to a client, and then I'm like, Festival of the Arts.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, none of the other ones have really, because you'd be F and G, I guess you could say. F and W. See, those start to sound like they're bad, like they're dirty words. So we're not going to use those. But yeah, happy Festival of the Arts opening day.
Yes.
We are there right now. Depending on when you're listening to this, festival kicks off at 11 a.m. So we will, depending on when you listen, we'll either be there eating food or we'll be getting ready to eat food.
Yes,
so,
we will.
Very excited for it. If you do go out to our website at mainstmagic.com, go up to MSM News on the little menu bar there. We do have an article from John Self. It also includes some of our picks this year for Festival of the Arts, some of the things that we're looking forward to, both new and old. So go out and check that out. But today we are continuing our listener mailbag, our Q&A series.
Yes.
Go back to the last one. You can catch that first set of questions. And then we had so many that we're going to do this episode. And then probably in about a week or two, we're going to go ahead and do the third part of these questions. So, because we had quite a few. So let's kick right into it. Rhonda, Cassidy asks, if you could interview any Disney voice actor, who would it be and why?
Let's see. Do you have one?
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be what everybody's expecting me to say, because I'm not going to immediately say Josh Gad. I'm going to, who, by the way, I've been trying to get on the podcast now that he has a book coming out.
Nice.
But Alan Tudyk.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
He's
and
so
it's
great.
not, I don't think it's one that most people think about. I mean, he has done everything from like Hey Hey to Tuk Tuk.
Right.
He does all up to Iago and the live action Aladdin. Like, he is normally not the predominant voice. He's not. And I think that's what makes him so incredible.
Because then I remember and love him from the Knight's Tale with Heath
Was
Ledger?
he in Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger?
Yes.
Remember, I still have never seen that.
Oh, he's the pirate. Steve, he's Steve the pirate.
He's Steve the pirate in Dodgeball.
Yes,
which is
so
my
he's
first
just-
introduction.
right.
To him. He
And
also
I
plays the
think-
voice of Sonny, I believe it is, in iRobot. So and that's the thing. If you
How does
were
he
to
do
go
that?
to IMDb and look up Alan Tudyk and look at his movies like that he's been a part of, the crazy part is I bet 90% of them you'll be like, what?
Now I wish I would have gone first, because I'm like, I don't feel like I would. Want to interview. I guess. What? Oh my gosh, Jim's voice?
Jim Cummings?
Yes, that
Yeah.
I was next to at home.
Yeah.
And helped him out some.
Yeah, Jim is amazing.
Because he has a lot of different voices,
I mean, Winnie the Pooh, Ray, my favorite. He talked to me as Ray.
Yes.
After I showed him my Ray tattoo, which was amazing. Because
and
you got to
that's
think.
just so neat to me how people can do that. I don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean.
Personally.
And I would put Jim Cummings up there with an Alan Tudyk. Because there are so many roles that he has voiced that you have no idea because he, I love Josh Gad, love Olaf. Josh Gad is Olaf, right?
Right.
I would absolutely love to have been able to sit down with the late, great Robin Williams. But nobody watches the animated Aladdin and goes, I wonder who voices the genie. It's Robin Williams. And a lot of these folks lend their voices because they are Pumbaa in the live action Lion King and now Mufasa with Seth Rogen. Like they're not fooling anyone. Their voice works wonderful and they're great for that, but they don't always switch it up. Jim Cummings. I mean, do you remember were you in the room? I know I had videoed it. Were you in the room when he did every voice?
Yeah, I think so.
26 of them or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In a row. Like I think it was Jason Marsden was there with him on stage and he just threw out characters. And Jim would just do one line, one of their famous lines, and he would go from one to the other. And collectively, you could kind of go, all right, I could see that that's all Jim Cummings' work. But as you hear them individually, you would not be able to guess like, oh, okay, Ray is the same person who voices Winnie the Pooh. Right.
Oh,
Winnie the Pooh is the
100%.
same person who filled in on Lion King for Jeremy Irons and sung Be Prepared. Oh, that was Jim Cummings.
It's crazy.
It's
amazing.
Nuts.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was almost going to say something like Belle.
Yeah. Paige O'Hara would be good.
But that's when I'm like.
Jodie Benson, I think, would be fascinating. Any of the classic, we'll call them princesses, I think would be cool. Of course, we've had the opportunity to talk to, the voice of Mickey and Minnie, Bill Farmer. Goofy. You got to spend a lot of time with Bill at the House of Mouse Expo last year.
He was really cool, too.
Yeah. So
it's just really cool. Like that's just so amazing to me.
And what I love, I would imagine that a lot of these voice actors, especially the Disney like Fab Five, that they get so many people that come up to them, do the voice, right?
Yeah.
And they either probably love it, and I'm sure they always do it. They're all wonderful, nice, humble people, but you got to think at some point they're like, I don't want to do the voice. What I love, like when I went up to Jim Cummings and I was just like, hey, I'm a huge fan of Princess and the Frog. I got a Ray tattoo. He spoke to me as Ray. I wasn't like, because I would never be like, talk to me as Ray.
Right.
Like I would never do that. And so the fact that he just did it, I think also shows his love for like the characters and all that he does. And I know Bill Farmer will do that a lot of times as Goofy. He'll just break into Goofy.
It was really cool. And then Minnie Mouse was there.
Yep.
But poor thing, she had been sick.
Yeah, she was sick.
And so she was not able to really do it at all the whole time.
Yeah. Those ones are insane. Like when you see Brett who does Mickey's voice.
Oh my gosh.
Like you just see him, you talk to him and you're like, there is no way that Mickey Mouse comes out of your mouth.
Yep.
And it does.
Sure does.
It's absolutely incredible. All right. What is the next question?
Kendall says, what's a fact about Disney that you recently learned?
You got me stumped, Kendall. I'm trying to think of something. Can you think of something like Keys to the Kingdom when we did that, maybe?
I know. That's the only thing like I think about, like things like that. Because I was thinking the other day, like they did give money to California.
Yes,
That's
they did.
A fact.
Yep, that is a fact.
I just learned that recently.
You did learn that, yeah.
It's brand new.
Yep, that is brand new information for everyone. But
I mean, I think of like a fact like.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the things like maybe from the parks or something.
Right,
about
like
Disney
I think.
himself
Right, I think of a fact like Keys to the Kingdom where. The backstage part and where you have a line that the actors and actresses have to, you cross that line and you have to be smiling. You can be like not smiling and like just like almost frown face or like, cause it does hurt to smile after a while.
Oh my goodness.
And then as soon as you hit that line, they have to be on and, be on stage. That's their on stage now. So, I mean, I think that's cool, a neat fact.
Yeah, like when you're coming from when you're starting the parade route over there from the backstage area, Rhonda's right. Like there is a line, and it's not the line that enters you technically into the park. It's a line where if a guest was in the right position, they could see you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
cool.
where the line has to be drawn, literally on the ground. It could be 20 feet before you're thinking, well, this is when the parade truly starts because, again, if they can be seen, they need to be on stage.
And it might be as something simple as being on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you know, like dropping down, but yet somebody looks over and sees and you can see them.
Yeah.
So I
There's
think
going to be that one person who captures some photo. It's like, how come this cast member was frowning? Like, come on, man. But, yeah. I know. I'm really trying to think of anything else. I will say, I mean, the Keys to the Kingdom tour, as much as we learned the first time we went, which was 9 years ago, we learned so much more in addition to that the second time we went, which was not even a year ago. But it's so much information. And that's why we love Keys to the Kingdom is I could really see us going every single year. And you're going to pick up something new and learn
or
something new.
things happen downstairs too, like it did this last time. And it was just so cool.
The utilidors.
Yeah. Like you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
the costuming, and I'm trying to like recall and go back in my own little Rolodex to specific things, but walking through the costuming area was super interesting. And I know they were spitting out some different facts through there and some of the full, you know, worn costumes and stuff that were on display and things. Is just, I think it's absolutely fascinating. But there's so many things that you can learn about Disney. I think it's another thing that keeps drawing people back. You know, I mean, I would like to think I know a good amount about Disney, especially as it comes to the parks in Walt Disney World, obviously. And I don't know anything really. Yeah. That's what's so crazy. There's always something like new to learn.
Well, I will say it's super funny because I've been telling people we're going to California, Disney.
90 days from today of the recording. Technically, yesterday, Wednesday, was what I consider 3 months to the day. Wow. We will be on a plane heading to Anaheim.
Yeah.
Just nuts.
It is. And we're super excited, but it's super funny because I've been telling people and they're like, you know, it's like smaller, right? And I'm like, yes, I do. Yeah. And it's just funny because the way people talk to me about it, I'm like, yeah, but I'm excited for the nostalgia and know that Walt walked these grounds and like he got to oversee. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, California is like Universal over here. It's that type of footprint. And I know that, which makes me a little more excited because I'm not having to go somewhere like Disney World and only have a few days. And I'm not
you can't really
accomplish it all.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
Listen, I hate to break it to y'all, but size doesn't matter when it comes to the Disney parks because they have so many people that are both Disneyland and Walt Disney World fans, and they love Disneyland so much more because it is the OG, because of the nostalgia, because of that kind of footprint. Lucy and I were texting yesterday because we're like, all right, coming up soon, we're going to have to start really planning. Like, we got to think about dining. We got to whatever. And we were like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. You know, I think that first day, I already made the park reservations, and this is why her and I think a lot alike because I'd already made these park reservations. So I had our first day Disneyland, second DCA, third Disneyland again. Of course, we had Park Hopper, but I just figured let's do those as the start. So she was like, well, I was thinking we'd start the first day at Disneyland, and then we'll kind of accomplish some stuff there. We'll spend the afternoon a little more leisurely at DCA. The next day, we start at DCA, and I was like, you won't believe what I already booked for reservations. And that's exactly what I had done.
Aw, that's awesome.
I know that the castle there is so much smaller, and I know we've all seen photos of it.
100%.
I'm so interested to actually see it in person.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and try and like erase Cinderella Castle a little bit from the forefront of my mind so that I'm not like, oh, it's a small castle. And just taking in the castle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that part will be pretty interesting. We got 2 questions from our wonderful Amy, MEI-Travel advisor. What's the first one, Rhonda?
You've just won the lottery and have $100,000 to spend on Disney parks and experiences. What are you doing?
We don't play the lottery.
No, we don't.
We should start. also,
we sometimes do.
We sometimes
when
will.
it's really
I
high.
do scratch offs sometimes.
Yep.
Like if I have cash and I go to Publix and I got $2-3, I'll do a scratch off. I mean, what would you do? I don't know if this would count. I don't know if this really wouldn't count under Disney Parks and Experiences, but I would buy DVC immediately.
Okay.
But I don't think that really counts because that wouldn't be considered Disney Parks and Experiences. So for me, first thing would be to probably go ahead and find like a week. And Amy, you can actually, if you for fun, if you wanted, you could price this out because I don't know what this would fall between. I would take a week and I would get one of the 3-bedroom villas at, I kind of want to say Animal Kingdom because we've seen that 3-bedroom villa, the 2-story one, remember, which is just super cool right on the savannah. Invite some of our closest friends. We would do a VIP tour. We would do the dinners, the special dinners. We would go to Victoria and Albert's.
I just started to say that's one thing I would do. I'd want to take Rachel and Amy and Chuck. And let's see. I don't know. That'd be fun. I would think a bungalow from Polly instead of.
You could, that would be super cool too.
Instead of Animal Kingdom, but I mean,
that's your $100,000. Do whatever you want with it. I mean, in reality, it would be amazing to be able to do something like Gary Sinise does every year. Like, would really be cool is to say, all right, we want to do something for our friends and the people that have been with us since the beginning. And the big reasons that this show continues to grow. But then with the other portion of it or half of it is find. Like right now I'm thinking like, okay, could you, and you couldn't choose obviously, but some of these firefighters and these folks out in LA right now, could you do something for them? As far as again, this has to be spent at Disney. All right. Could we bring those firefighters and their families out? Yeah. And, we can be their tour guides or something then, we can all go do something like that.
I do love how you and I are both where we would get a whole bunch of money and we really want to use it for other people and like.
Well, you have to.
I love that.
You have to at some point because, you have the group that comes from nothing, and so to get a sum of money like that means that they can do some of the things they've never gotten to do. And that could be simple, that could just be buying nice clothes or a home or whatever, for us who have been very fortunate our whole lives to come from something, to have our parents and always be able to provide for us, even now, if need be, if there's an emergency, like, we've been so fortunate and lucky that I would love for somebody to hand me a check for $100,000. Yeah. But in good conscience, I couldn't spend it all on us or myself. You know what I mean? I couldn't. Like the joy that I would get out of spending that money on myself would just be outweighed by the grief I would feel by not helping somebody who's less fortunate, if that makes sense. And I know you feel the same way.
I do. And it's amazing.
Yeah. And that's why we do, that's why we came about with Main Street 16 challenge coming up in May. Of course, mainstreet16.com. Go out there, book your room at Drury. We don't want those room blocks to sell out. You don't get your chance. So go ahead and do that. It's going to be an absolute blast. But it was one of the, once we got to a point where we felt we could do something and have a voice to raise money for somebody else, because we've with the help of all of y'all, we've raised $35,000 over 3 years for Give Kids the World.
Amazing.
We can't give Kids the World $35,000.
No,
we would if we could.
We
can't. But if we have a way to collectively get that to them, then that's what we decided to do. And that's the whole reason we do things like that, because we don't have $100,000 just to blow on whatever we want. But we can certainly, over the course of the years, raise $100,000 for some amazing charities. This year being the Dream Team project from Lou Mangello, which benefits Make-A-Wish.
Yep.
So, I love that question, though. One more from Amy, and I feel like this might be directed more towards me.
I think it is.
Maybe not. Do you want to read it?
Yes, it is. What band/artist would you bring to Garden Rocks or Eat to the Beat? Realistically.
And I love the realistically, though. I do. I love the realistically because, I'd be like Creed, 21 Pilots, Pearl Jam, like Eminem. Those aren't realistic.
No.
Do you have realistic ones, like maybe in your country mind, that you think could actually be brought there, or like, I mean, you're not a big music person.
I'm not. I mean, I really like Morgan Wallen, but things.
Is he the guy that throws chairs?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm like, things I've heard.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to get clean of some
Good. Yeah, I hope
sorts,
so.
and- yeah,
I hope so.
but I think of other guy singers that I'm like, I would love to see, like Jelly Roll. Oh my God! But again, realistically,
I really want to see Jelly Roll live.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
And his story, oh my God.
Oh, I know.
Is incredible.
Do you, again, I know you don't watch and follow a lot of things.
No.
He and then his wife Bunny on TikTok. First of all, you always hope that what you see is what is real, because they seem like the sweetest, most loving,
really think it is.
supporting couple.
Yes.
They've been through a lot of junk.
Yes.
And it's
And yes.
it's just amazing to like.
Not that I have insight, but I'm just
right.
saying.
But the only insight we have is through a social media world. But
Right.
But that is getting a little off topic there. I do really would love to.
So
see
who's your
him
band?
Right now would be Bad Flower. And I think that's realistic. While Bad Flower is probably to most people not a household name, a lot of the bands that come there aren't all the time. Blue October is not a household name for the majority of people. Most people don't know them unless you know them. And I feel like that's a lot of what Garden Rocks and Eat to the Beat gets.
Right.
Bad Flower could play a set that would be appropriate for Epcot. I do think within like 5 years, a lot of people, if you listen to like alternative music or rock, you will have heard of Bad Flower. You possibly already have. Like their song Ghost, their song Jester are two that do play on the radio.
Right.
And you might catch. Then I go back and I think of the bands that I kind of grew up with, which are a lot of the bands they bring. Like I think, and I don't know which of these bands are still together or not, but Lifehouse
Yeah.
would be incredible,
Yeah,
I think.
that's funny.
I was on the street team for Lifehouse when they first started. They were a tiny little band.
What does that mean?
So back in the late 90s to early, this would have been 2000s by that time, because I think I was in college when they came out, somewhere around 2000 or so probably, maybe even late 90s. But
Ooh, that's a long time ago.
to get the word out, there was no social media. So to get the word out,
True that.
you found fans who signed up for your street team all over the country and world. You sent them a bunch of free stuff. They went out and gave it to their friends. They did all this, gave it out to help spread the word.
Huh.
So, and it wasn't like anything special. I mean, I think they accepted lots of people, but Lifehouse was this new band. I absolutely loved them. And so I went on their website, said, I want to apply for the street team. They sent me a box full of CDs, stickers and everything. And then I would go to the shows that I was going to at that time, which was mostly like Creed, Pearl Jam. And I would bring my box of CDs and stickers, and I would walk the line of people waiting to get in and hand them CDs and stickers and say, hey, you should check out this band Lifehouse. They're amazing. And so that's
funny.
but that's what you did. That's what you had to do that there.
Right.
Authors, booksellers used to have to do that. This was before the internet was big and social media and all was huge.
Wow.
Another one I know that they are still together, and I believe they're doing some tours throughout Canada where they're from. Our Lady Peace,
Okay.
I think could actually realistically play at Epcot. And then there's just other bands that I don't know if enough people would know them. Cool for August, the Tea Party, like all the Suicide Machines might be a little heavy, but they do get some punk style bands there. I mean, I could give you a list.
I started to say it sounds like you could. So
list.
That's cool. Let's move
on to the next one.
To Kendall again, actually. She asked, what Disney/Pixar movie has your favorite animation style? Ooh, that's a good one.
I love the classic 2D hand-drawn. And like going back to the Snow Whites and the Cinderellas up to Little Mermaid, Lion King, Princess and the Frog. I love that style. I absolutely love it.
Well, I'm going to say I love like Inside Out and that type of style.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty cool.
It is
to me.
Yeah, it is. No, I think things like that as well.
I mean, I still love the other, but like favorite, I mean, I guess it's just because it is changing with the times, and I do go back to look at and watch things, and I'm like, oh, I mean, like for example, Tron. Like I went and rewatched the commercial, I guess you call it, the trailer for it. And I'm like, oh, no thanks. Oh, I've watched it once, but it's been so long ago.
The original Tron you're talking about?
I think so.
Yeah.
One of them that I was like, no, I'll just wait till the new one, just because it's just funny how things have changed, and I guess I do like it.
Well, that's where too you almost blur the line now between what is considered animation and what is considered CGI.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like it's clear. Okay, an Inside Out is clearly animation, but and I don't know why this is the first one that pops into my head is Free Guy. I think as we were talking about it the other day because Kaylin loves that movie.
She does.
That is heavy CGI. Okay, let's just say some of those characters in that are created completely on a computer with CGI. That's still animation technically,
right?
Okay. I wonder if we ever get to that point. Do we ever get to a point that Pixar is using CGI in a sense that it's blurring the lines between is that a real person or is that computer generated? You know, obviously when you even go to Toy Story, right?
Right.
You don't see a lot of human faces and stuff in it.
Right.
But it's clearly, now when you look at the actual toys, you almost, if you just looked at a photo of the toys, you think, okay, that could be real. That could be something that was created like a 3D object, almost like a claymation type thing. But when you see the people, you clearly go, all right, that is an animated person. If those people looked as real as they can make them look, like real human beings, would you still call that animation? Or would you now, does that, again, cross a line into
what do you call
generated?
Well, the games, like the games that they play.
Right. You know, Kaylin watched people play games. This is where the world has come to, first of all. Okay?
So weird.
We all know kids love watching other people play games.
Right.
We now watch Kaylin watch people play games.
Well, because she watched it on the big TV.
I know, which is just funny to me.
Silent Hill, she started watching, and this guy, one of her favorite YouTubers, play this game for it's a 9-hour quote unquote movie.
Yeah.
And so she was watching it, and I remember because Jeremy used to play. We will have been married 19 years this year, so 19 years ago, he would play these games, and I'd sit and watch them, and I enjoyed because I'd be like, "Oh God, look out!"
It is kind of like a movie,
but because he played these like
Resident
scary
Evil.
ones.
I played Resident Evil on the Wii. I'm not a big gamer, and it was so any game that I could actually get through and play, I would play. Like I love the Lego games.
Yeah.
Because you
but
can't
that wasn't
die.
like that. Yeah, that to me is just like you just gotta do the things.
Yeah.
But like the Resident Evil and the Silent Hill that she was watching, it's just, and that, I mean, watching her, I'm like, this is a game? I'm like, it literally looks like a movie. This guy looks almost real. It's so weird. Anyways.
And you will end up having very famous actors lend voices to some of these games. That's what's,
true.
I think, crazy too.
That's
and
true.
I find it funny because here we are going, oh, I can't believe kids watch people play games. But it goes back, I don't know if it was a meme, it was a joke, whatever, where, a dad says to his son, like, you're just sitting watching somebody play a game instead of playing it yourself. And the son is like, don't you sit and watch other people play football? And when you really think about it, there is no difference.
Wow, that's funny.
I mean, in theory, you know what I mean? So I do find that
but
funny.
it could be where you were like, why don't you go play it? Well, I tried.
Yeah, I can't play football.
Right.
And I did try.
Right.
So yeah, but all right, let's move on to James. James has I pulled a couple, and again, if you don't get your question answered last episode, this episode you will on the next one that we do in about a week or two. James had a couple really good ones. James is awesome. He is one of our biggest Be Nice to Cast member supporters.
Thanks,
He
James.
is wearing the Be Nice to Cast member gear in the parks all the time. He's posting photos all the time. He's posting photos of himself in it in other huge Disney Facebook groups and spreading the word. So James, we appreciate you very much. His first question, we're going to do two from him today. What is your favorite park, land, ride, resort, and restaurant after dark? Let's start with park, and let's just pretend that all parks stay open after dark, year-round. We'll just pretend that, right? Because mine's Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I just started to say when you just said that, I'm thinking I mean, it's been so long since I've seen it after dark, but Animal Kingdom was really cool.
Yeah. We can try and catch it this weekend. I mean, because the sun sets at what, 3:15 in the afternoon, I think now it feels like. And I think they're still open to maybe 6 or 7. So we could maybe try and get over there and catch it a little bit because it has been so long. What about land Pandora?
Well, right. Pandora. Yep. Absolutely.
So that gets that one. Is there a ride specifically? I almost said Navi River Journey, but I'm like, wait, that's always in the dark.
Right.
Because it's so perfect for that.
I'm going to say Jungle Cruise night ride over at Magic.
That's a good one. That really immerses you because you
really
can't,
did.
Not that you can see beyond when you're in Jungle Cruise during the day because it's so well themed and closed, but you really feel like you could be in the jungle at night.
It was really cool. Yeah. I really was like, oh gosh, I haven't been like this in a while. So
I'm going to go with a one, but it has to be during a very specific moment, and that is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and that is when Happily Ever After is going off.
Okay.
Another one, Tiana's, would be great. There is nothing like, I remember the one time I got to go, it was when Matt and Nikki were here. And I think I spent almost the whole week there. It's when we had the hobo camper and we camped at Fort Wilderness. You came down Thursday to Sunday, but I was there Monday to Sunday or something because Matt and Nikki were. And one of the nights we were at Magic Kingdom and we were on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as soon as it launches and you come out over to that first kind of little incline before you're going into the cavern thing. We're looking up and fireworks are just shooting off above us. And it was amazing. And the same thing if you're coming out of Tiana's. How do you feel about Tron at night? Do you think it is a better experience than during the day?
I think I like during the day because it's day and night.
I do too.
Whereas when it's night, it seems shorter. So as weird as this sounds, it seems a tad bit longer.
Yeah.
When it's day night versus all night.
I agree.
So
now looking at a ride, Tron obviously is best at night, but I think riding it, the contrast of day and night, I like a lot better. All right, let's move on to resort.
You know, I'm going to go shockingly, I think, to everybody and say all-star movies. And is it Broadway, that section?
That's music.
Music.
All-star music has the Broadway section. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I love that section at night.
Oh my gosh. We were staying there recently and we were just and hardly anybody was out. And it wasn't crazy late if I remember correctly. No. It wasn't like it was like 1 a.m.
Right.
We were getting back, but it was quiet and it was lit up and it's just gorgeous and I don't know.
It gives you a little taste of Broadway.
Yeah, there was something about it that I was like, I don't know. It just hit me way different than it has anything in the past more recently, actually. Yeah. So,
have you have you seen Broadway in New York? Did we probably walked through at the time I took you, right?
Probably, but this was also 20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago now. Again, it gives you that little taste of it. If you,
cool.
We've not been to a Broadway show, but we have walked down Broadway Street. I went one. I don't know if you know this story. Brittany and I went to New York, right?
Yep.
And this was all part of the big Creed group bulletin board. And if you guys think I'm a dork for doing that, you guys are on a Disney Facebook group, so you're the same. Trust me. But we were walking down the street where we had just come off of Broadway, and we were walking down whatever one of the side streets. And so I didn't know that she had planned this. Somebody comes up and says something to us that we never met him in person. He was another person from the Creed board.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of weird details about the Creed people at that time, but he said a line that was very familiar on the bulletin boards. And I was like, this is weird. And he's kind of following us. And I'm like, this is super weird and sketchy. And then it took a minute until I realized who it was. Because this is pre-social media. This is online bulletin boards. You didn't see a lot of photos of people. You didn't know what a lot of people looked like. You knew their names. You knew about them. And that turned out it was this person that we had known who ended up becoming a very good friend for a period of time. I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's well. But yeah, that was interesting. So, nice. All right, what about resort? I didn't answer. I gotta go Poly, simply for those torches.
Yeah,
the tiki torches, walking around the pool. another one. There's nothing like, and you don't even have to be staying there. You can walk right past it. There's nothing like Stormalong Bay at nighttime.
Yeah.
It is amazing at night. So I'd probably go one of those two.
Okay.
What about restaurants?
A California Grill. I mean,
That's hard to beat.
That's hard to beat because you can see all of Main Street.
Yeah.
It's dark. Everything's lit up. It's just, it's on a clear day. Like,
Clear night.
Clear night, excuse me. You can see so far. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
That's a really good one.
And then, of course, if Happily Ever After goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So
even better. That's a really good one. If I can't have that one, I would go with maybe an Ohana. Of course, you really need to be by the windows, but
or a hurricane.
Yeah. Looking out over the pool, over the lake into Magic Kingdom a little bit is really cool, and just the ambiance in there at night feels different than the day for whatever reason.
It does, and again, like we were there for a hurricane, and it was calming and scary at the same time. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
But a little bit like this is wow.
Yeah. My other one I think would be Three Bridges. I mean, the nighttime atmosphere there is amazing.
Well, Wailulu now.
Yeah,
possibly.
Wailulu, I cannot wait to visit it at nighttime. That's one that we're going to have to find the time to visit during the evening soon. But and for Three Bridges, I mean, it's not on the plan, but we kind of have an open Saturday evening. We'll see where the night takes us.
Ooh.
But yeah, Three Bridges, we've probably spent more evenings at than
100%.
any other restaurant on property.
100%.
Not probably, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Rhonda said, we have spent more evenings. Do you know I told you who's staying at Coronado Sunday night, right? My brother.
Yeah.
He comes in this Sunday. I told him, I said, if you have a chance, I think he gets in about 4:30. He's got a AV check at 6:30. He speaks early, I think, Monday morning. He's actually speaking in the Coronado Ballroom.
So you're not going.
When we come back on Sunday, there's just there's no way to make it happen. Yeah. But I do have to talk with you about something on the way down. This morning.
My goodness.
Yeah, it might be an oh my goodness. But I told him, I said, if you need something to eat Sunday evening, go to Three Bridges and just see if Carol's working. That would blow her mind if he actually sat down and she got his table and he was like, do you know Jeremy and Rhonda? I'm his brother. Would be super duper cool. So I kind of hope he does that. I put it in. I sent him all his info. I said, dude, you should do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll go with that one. All right. Next, James asks, you each get to choose one Disney-affiliated celebrity, why I said it weird, to enjoy one attraction and share a meal with. I mean, I'm going to go with my top two, either Neil Patrick Harris or Josh Gad.
Okay.
Especially now, Josh Gad's new book did come out, and Gad We Trust. He is taking all proceeds and donating it to LA and relief to help with these wildfires and all the crazy stuff that's going on over there. Just everything I've seen about him, he just really does seem like the most genuine human being. He's such a fan of like other people. Like he's such a fan of movies and actors and actresses. You know what I mean? Like he's a fan in the thing that he does, like the same way, like I'm a fan of Lou Mangello or, seeing Scott and Michelle, like that same way, like he's in this business, but he's also such a huge fan of it. And of course, I mean, Neil Patrick Harris is like one of the biggest Disney fans ever. Yeah. Like I would just be like, tell me about your love of Disney. Like, I mean, he owns some of the original like Haunted Mansion paintings from the stretching room.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it's him or John Stamos owns like one of the old Disneyland signs.
Wow.
Like it's just nuts. So
that's cool.
I think one of those two. How about you?
Well, I would say more on today's generation. I feel like I am very obsessed with them right now. Either Zendaya or Tom Holland.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, I love them.
Congratulations, you two, if you're listening.
Yes, they just got engaged, and I heard he asked her dad, which I think is amazing.
That really is.
Yeah, and I love too. They did an interview I saw of where somebody asked the question about Zendaya being taller than him. And it was super cute because first of all, Tom's like, she's not that much taller, but Zendaya was like, my mom's taller than my dad, so it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like that is normal to her. And it was just so freaking cool. And I just loved them. So I would love to talk. And I mean, Zendaya is just amazing, from doing all the way to Disney to
Oh my gosh.
Euphoria.
Yeah, we watched her back on, what was the show that Casey Undercover?
Yeah. Yep.
It's where I first learned of her when Lacey and Kaylin would watch Casey Undercover. She was on that.
Yep.
She's outstanding.
So she is. And she's just an incredible actress, and she's just amazing. And I would love to just talk to him. I mean, even like, I don't even know. I would, I would just enjoy an attraction, her favorite attraction, and I would love to enjoy a meal with her.
That'd be good. Tom Holland is another one that he seems like a fan of everything.
Yes.
You know, like he seems like the type that you would walk through Disney World with and it'd be like taking a kid. Like he seems like he would be that type. Like I don't even know how old he is now. I will forever just think of him as like a 17, 18-year-old Peter Parker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we probably could be his dad and mom.
No, I guarantee it. We could be lots of people's dad or mom. And mom. All right, we're going to move on. We got two more. Anthony asks, what are your favorite Disney history books? I hate to break this to you, Anthony. I don't read much. So
you read all the time. You should not
I don't
say
read
that.
books. That's true. I do read.
You
I can
read all the time.
I read all the time. I read
you have
all day
to read
long.
all
I know that.
social. You
I
have
know
to
that.
read. You read
I
all
don't
the
read
time.
books.
He does not read for entertainment.
Yeah,
he does
that's
not
a good one.
pick a book up to read to get into, like what I used to do, where I read all the Twilight series. I read the Hunger Games series. I did read actually a lot. I picked up books. What do they call them? The Harlem, what do they call them? And
if you have a question about books, I'm not going to be able to answer it.
Well, they call them something where they, you read it. Like one of my favorites was, I think this lady, she ended up going like to a island, and then like there was treasure, but there was love and steamy. I don't remember what they were called, but
romance novels.
Something probably like that.
CD covers, ones they can't put out like for children to see at Barnes and Noble.
No, like the covers are fine, but it's just super. I think I found somebody that I really liked the way they wrote. And I don't remember why I stopped reading. Because I had a Kindle for years, and I read for entertainment, and I think I just, unfortunately, maybe because the way things were advancing and so many things now, like Hulu puts out movies. Like it's not just a movie theater anymore.
I know.
It's Apple TV, it's Hulu, it's Netflix. It's so
you can see stories anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like, so many books have been brought to life.
Correct.
In that manner.
That's, I think, what happened, where I kind of, and then the sad part is too, where when you read a book and then sometimes you watch the movie and you're like, that's not at all the way it was.
Right.
So then that kind of gets sad. So,
like
and
Wicked.
I don't know if that's what happened, where I read and then saw, and then I was like, all right, well, this is stupid.
But most people go backwards. Most people like the books much better than the movies.
Oh, yeah.
I've always liked the movie better than the book because I can watch it.
Right.
I don't have to.
And I think that's what happened. There were so many things. But back to you reading.
Do you know I used to read?
For entertainment?
I did. James Patterson. I read several James Patterson books. Kiss the Girls.
Okay.
And I saw it after the movie with Ashley Judd and it was Morgan Freeman were in the movie. And I actually read that. I read several of his books when I was working at a 1-hour photo place when I was younger. And again, you
couldn't watch things.
You couldn't watch things. You couldn't just pull up your phone and watch stuff on your phone. You had to do something. And I would sit in this photo lab for 6 hours a night and I would read. And I read a lot of James Patterson books. And try to win contests on the radio. And I won several contests to go see concerts as well. But
going
with that
back
being
to
said,
his question.
Listen, I do have one. And like I won't even read long articles. Like really, it's just too much.
Seriously?
My brain can't stay present.
Oh.
I'm the type that starts to skip ahead, or I'm the type that will read an entire page and then go, what was on that page? Like I don't even know what I just consumed.
Oh.
But the one book that I did start, and I started this about 10 months ago.
10 months ago, and you're on page 10?
No, I'm on page 25. But anybody will tell you that this book is absolutely incredible. You should pick it up. It's called Buying Disney's World. It is the story of how Florida's swampland became Walt Disney World, and it is by Aaron Goldberg. It is absolutely incredible. It is
the 25 pages that you've read.
The 25 pages that I've read is really good. And I also read the back, which pretty much sums it up pretty much. So I knew what was going on. No, this is like, I will say, get this book. Do not read it until after you go and do Keys to the Kingdom. A lot of Keys to the Kingdom, especially when you're walking down Main Street, is in this book. A lot of the people that you're going to see, the names on the windows, there are much more in-depth stories about them in here. There's much more in-depth stories about the fake companies that they created to purchase all this land. It's actually super fascinating, and I wish they would make a movie out of it. So, who would you have play? You know who I saw most recently, somebody recommended would play a wonderful younger Walt Disney in a movie is Timothée Chalamet. I think he actually would be super good at I love Timothée Chalamet.
I do too, but I'm like,
He's
I don't
so
know if
good.
I see that, but okay.
I don't know if it's a recent movie or it was from awards. He has the little Walt mustache. He's got shorter hair, and he would really pull off a good Walt, and he's an absolutely incredible actor. So, But yeah, this book is really, really good if you are the reading type, I will say. And I will get through this at some point.
25 pages,
25
folks.
pages.
So I don't know if you can really go on
I need to find more free time, apparently. All right. We got one more from Twitter. This is Donna. Lovely Donna. She's so sweet. She is a big fan and listener of ours. Interacts a lot on Twitter. Says, here's my question. Where is, in your opinion, the best hamburger in all of Walt Disney World, including any of the hotels or Disney Springs? Thank you for all you do. Love your podcast.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Donna.
What are you calling right now best burger for you?
I'm thinking.
Because there's two recent ones that really come to mind for me, which is the Walulu burger.
Yeah, I was just thinking
and the burger, the new signature burger at Bar Riva.
Yeah.
And you can always throw Bison Burger at Geyser Point into the mix. Do you think those are in the top 3?
Yeah, that Walulu burger was fantastic, though.
It was really good.
It was fantastic. I'm excited. Are we going to Deluxe this weekend?
No, probably not.
I want that French onion soup.
I know they do have that French onion burger.
Yeah.
We'll talk on the way down. We do the crazy part is we don't have any plans this weekend other than really farts. We're just going to be farting around most of the weekend. But
okay. And renewing our passes, guys.
This will be year number 10.
Wow.
A decade of Disney.
Oh my goodness.
That should be the theme for the podcast this year. That sounds like a lot of work. We're not going to do that. But if you had to pick, let's just say this right now. If I said, Rhonda, we're going for lunch. Okay.
I'm going to say Walulu because it's smash burgers, but they are so good and they were not like cooked too well done.
Yeah.
Everything was perfect. And as much as I liked the Bar Riva, I was sad for Amy and Chuck that theirs was not good. They did not like it as much as we liked ours. I don't know. I think Walulu is just right now. And maybe because it is more recent. But yes, Bar Riva. I would put Bar Riva and Walulu right there.
I would too. Yeah, and I'd round out the top 3 still with, I think, the Bison Burger over at Geyser Point.
Okay.
I think I'd have to go Walulu Burger as well. See, we're going there. I don't know if we'll be there before we go on February 13th. We're going to go meet our friend Mitch.
Yay, I'm so excited.
For lunch there, a little late lunch there. But I feel like we have to get things we didn't try the first time. But man, I want that Walulu Burger. Unless you get the Walulu Burger again, and then I get something new we haven't had, maybe, and then we can still have something we know we love, and then try something
right.
newer,
because this time we can half the burger.
We can.
Whereas I had a half, but you had a quarter, John had a quarter.
Yep. So I get me some more of that burger this time. But that thing is probably up there right now.
Because also this bun is specifically made for that burger.
By the
so
Hawaiian roll.
That's where I'm gonna have to.
Hawaiian
that's
King?
the reason
King.
it's. Hawaiian.
The name is King, isn't it?
King's Hawaiian Rolls.
King's Hawaiian Rolls, yeah.
That's why I'm going to go ahead and say it's not because I'm sorry, Bar Riva, but you ain't got no special bun.
Yeah, that's true. But they're
and
but
specifically being made for this burger.
And it's, the things that we always talk about too with Disney and the cost of things is you pay for atmosphere. A lot of this comes down to it as well. As much as we love Bar Riva and the atmosphere, you can't beat Walulu's atmosphere.
Right. I mean,
you
see
can't
the castle.
beat, I mean, like, you can't beat Geyser Point's atmosphere. You know,
I think that the difference is because Bar Riva's atmosphere is literally just the pool bar.
Yeah.
I mean, or the pool. I mean,
Yes,
like
it is.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like you can kind of. I mean, it's hard to overlook the pool and see the water like you can see at Geyser Point and Walulu. So
we like Bar Riva's atmosphere more for the people that are there.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like
Correct.
that's part of our atmosphere.
Right.
Well, I do love the colors and I love the chill vibe. Like, you know, it's 50 and rainy and gross out right now, but you could sit at Bar Riva and just feel like you're at the beach in a sense. Like it just, the colors, everything that it kind of envelops. And I bet Walulu the same. I mean, you're going to be staring at ugly weather, but boy, you put your back to it, you look into Walulu if you're sitting outside or you sit inside, whatever, like that atmosphere there. I cannot wait to go back. I am so super excited for that. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this question. We still have like 6, 7, 8 more or something. So that's the reason we're going to go ahead and wait. Don't worry, though. Next episode on Tuesday, we will do our full review of Festival of the Arts. We will talk about new dishes that we got to try this weekend. We will talk about old dishes that we have loved from the past. We'll give you all the details. And then either the episode after or maybe another one, we'll finish off these questions. So if yours did not get answered yet, it is still on our list. Don't worry. It will get answered then. And if you want to hear it, you're going to have to subscribe because then you can get the brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then, of course, as long as you are out there, we would be very thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.